We know this is one of the most pressing issues facing Los Angeles today, something nearly everyone has noticed in their daily lives. Now, the city claims it has a new plan, one aimed at removing RVs parked throughout residential neighborhoods, signaling what officials describe as a turning point in how encampments will be handled. Across California, encampments are surging, spreading far beyond inner cities and into the neighborhoods that keep those cities running, as residents of so-called sanctuary cities question why billions of taxpayer dollars given to nonprofits have failed to produce real results. A new strategy has emerged, towing RVs and clearing encampments for good. But as the situation unfolds, it increasingly appears that this effort may be arriving far too late to make a meaningful difference. From the air, the problem is impossible to ignore. News Chopper 4 flew over East Hollywood and captured footage of numerous RVs lining the streets, with more than a dozen parked beside multiple businesses. In Venice, the situation is even more pronounced, with RVs stretched along Washington Boulevard as far as the eye can see. Over 4 years, roughly $3 billion was sent to Los Angeles County, yet a staggering $2.3 billion of that amount is completely unaccounted for. That money could have been used to clean up neighborhoods, provide housing solutions, or meaningfully assist people living in these conditions, but instead it has seemingly vanished without explanation. For the past year, residents in San Francisco's South of Market neighborhood have relied on private security teams for daily patrols. These guards intervene when sidewalks are blocked, doorways obstructed, or garages made inaccessible, addressing issues directly as part of a privately funded response to a public crisis. According to investigators, most of the public money flows to nonprofits or developers who claim they will build housing. However, multiple investigations revealed that the funds often went elsewhere, including personal expenses like paying off individual American Express bills rather than serving their intended purpose. This reality has angered what critics describe as the homeless industrial complex, a system that thrives on continuous access to government funding. Some argue that visible mass poverty becomes a political tool used to justify radical policy changes and endless spending, even as conditions for the homeless worsen instead of improving. Despite massive investments in homeless services, outcomes continue to deteriorate. Combined with the decriminalization of minor offenses, current policies often enable people to remain on the streets rather than guiding them toward lasting help. It's a tragic situation that few would ever accept for someone they truly cared about. The driving forces behind this humanitarian failure appear less concerned with compassion and more focused on money and power. Charts and data show that clearing RV encampments doesn't solve the problem, but simply relocates it, pushing the same crisis into different neighborhoods where it will resurface again. Meanwhile, large-scale fraud is now being uncovered in California, echoing scandals previously exposed in states like Minnesota. In some cases, developers received public funds to build housing for the homeless and never built anything at all, revealing a pattern of deception that stretches far beyond one city or state. Many believe these schemes persisted because certain political outcomes would have allowed them to remain hidden. Had recent elections gone differently, critics argue, this system of abuse might have expanded nationwide, continuing to drain public resources unchecked. At some point, the question must be asked, when will leaders openly admit that taking money from residents while failing to help those in desperate need is wrong? Most people would do anything to help a loved one living on the streets, even forcing them into real treatment if necessary, because true compassion demands action, not excuses. Footage from outreach efforts shows emotional conversations and promises of support, yet behind the scenes, many individuals are cycled through short-term programs until the funding runs out. Once the money is gone, they are released back onto the streets, often worse off than before. This revolving door system creates the illusion of progress through statistics that claim thousands have been helped, while ignoring how many quickly return to homelessness. It's a deeply depressing reality that exposes the failure of surface-level solutions. For those who profit from this system, every person living on the street represents potential money and influence. Recent RV bans in San Francisco, followed by similar moves in Los Angeles, suggest that encampments may simply migrate from one city to another, rather than disappear. Once again, aerial footage confirms the spread, with RVs clustered near Oakwood and Virgil, near Jefferson and Playa Vista, and lining commercial areas across Venice. The pattern is unmistakable and statewide, with no real solution in sight. Frustration has boiled over, prompting city officials like Councilmember Tracy Park to push for removing RVs entirely. While leaders insist Los Angeles is not an RV park, the reality on the ground tells a very different story. Ironically, the growing visibility of encampments benefits those who profit from the crisis, as it provides justification to demand even more funding. While not everyone in homeless outreach has bad intentions, nonprofits cannot access government money without a crisis large enough to justify it. Underneath it all lies the largest scandal. Billions of dollars sent to Los Angeles County with little oversight. That money could have cleaned streets, housed families, and restored safety to neighborhoods where residents now fear walking their dogs. Federal investigations have already led to indictments, with more expected. In one case, funds meant for housing were spent on luxury items like concert tickets, jewelry, and even a Beverly Hills mansion, a shocking reversal of the program's intent. As task forces finally begin following the money, the scale of the fraud is becoming undeniable. Tens of millions lost in just 2 cases may be only the beginning, revealing a system that rewarded deception while failing the people it claimed to protect.